Bam, we're live. That is a dog humping a leg. I should it's a good picture. I should have fixed it a little bit. I should have, you know what picture I'm talking about, Souza?
Yeah, is that the one that's on the YouTube?
The placeholder. Are you at home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, looks a
You're
little
not
different.
looking.
Sounds a little different. Not sure
Does
what's
it sound
going on.
bad?
I think bad's a little. I think bad's a little
Is,
harsh. I don't think that's necessary.
is that this gain function?
I don't know if I haven't taken a phone call since I got my phone situation. It's funny. I plugged in a new phone and it's like asking me if I want to be part of the COVID exposure program. I don't know if that. No, it's nothing like that. It's nothing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I think that you're pretty good. Let me see. It's asking I probably should have done this before. Shit. Oh no, it's asking me to set up Apple Pay. I don't need that to do this show, right?
No.
Let's see if someone's gonna call in.
Well, hopefully all our problems will be solved tomorrow because that fine new computer should be arriving.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
And this one's giving me a ton of issues.
Congratulations. Well, you look good.
Well, thank you. That vest is nice.
Thanks. Look at.
Oh, dang. Dude, you've been bench pressing.
I have. And I had 2 days ago, I just ate basically just steak or ground beef all day. I let myself eat as many avocados as I wanted. I think I had 3 or 4. I had a clamshell of greens, which was just spinach and arugula, and a pound of ground beef. Then today I'm in my fast, my 36-hour fast. And then tomorrow I'm going to do another pound of just ground beef with as many avocados and clamshells as I want. I know. Where is the S on the shirt? Man, something doesn't feel right. We're here. This is the show, Sevan Podcast.
Oh, because Superman. Got it. This is it. What's wrong?
I don't know. Sevan, you got that hair on point. You want to talk about my hair real quick? If someone calls in and I don't answer, say something, because I don't know if this phone or this shit's working. So basically, I don't look anything like this. Like Susie came to my house. Oh, look it. What's up, baby?
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey.
Did I send you the notes, Caleb?
No.
Oh, fuck me. Did I send them to you, Souza?
Yeah, I got him.
Oh,
Caleb, you should have them.
Oh,
Your name's
okay.
on the email here.
Sorry, my bad.
you're bad. Caleb with the nice features. My mom told me that Caleb has nice features.
Caleb does have nice features.
So I don't look anything like this. Like when you come to my house, when you visited me a couple days ago, I don't look like this in person, do I?
I don't know what that means.
I mean, you look like you. Like
Okay.
I wake up, like I have like so much clay in my hair, and I just took a shaver and shaved here, and I shaved my neck,
okay.
and I'm dressed all nice. Like when you come to my house, I'm like in fucking pajamas, and I got like a Jufro. I'm just like wild, right?
Yeah.
My kids are running around. I mean, I'm not like this. This is like this isn't fake me. This is just podcast me.
You're just put together. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like if you saw, like, God forbid anyone who watches the show sees me. Although it does happen every couple of weeks, one person will see me at the beach where I go, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, how did they even recognize me?" And I always have, and I usually wear big sunglasses to cover my face when I'm out, and I should stop doing that. I think it's bad for my eyes.
I don't know. I think you're too hard on yourself. You look good all the time.
Thank you. Well, I think I'm about to get lean and mean. I think I'm going to go into a lean phase for like a week.
Yeah, we'll eat that raw meat.
Yeah, I think that's going to be dude, did you see oh yeah, you told me the Liver King getting off the fucking jet from Africa. Oh my God, he is something else. He is something. I want to talk to it. I used to want to get him on the podcast, and I still do, but I'd like to get his mom on the podcast. Or his dad. So this is the man, Matt and Josh used to hate this shit. If you want to know why Matt and Josh left me, even though they didn't leave me, but if you like to spin that jackass narrative, this is why they left me, because I do stuff like this. This is what I use in my hair. That's it right there. Clay, and I scrape that fucker clean. Like I have like three now that should be thrown away, but I'm just wiping them. You know what I mean? Just like I can get a little more. This is what I use. And I never before. I just started again about a month ago using it because I'm basically not going to cut my hair for like a year. And
really?
I mean, that's the goal. I want to let my hair get long and my beard get all crazy long.
Oh shit!
The guests will respect me more.
Is that what it is? That's what that'll mean?
Caleb, do you have a cell phone nearby?
Yes.
Could you call?
Sure.
Just let's just see what happens if you call, if the call-in number works.
Act like you're someone else though, so we have a caller.
Dude, did you guys see the Caleb? Were you on the Hans Kim episode with me?
No, Will was.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Well, shit, it's working. Thank you.
Was that the same ringtone it always was?
Oh no, because it's a new phone.
I like that ringtone better.
You
It doesn't
do? Then
scare
the-
me.
Or whatever. What was it?
Yeah, that one scared me. Maybe it's just because I always got nervous when someone called.
I was told Hans Kim is really autistic.
By who?
Oh, here we go.
Oh shit.
By people in my DMs are like, "Hey, jackass, that guy was autistic." Hello, caller Phoenix. How can I help you? Uh-oh. Wait. I can't hear you. Are you talking? Wait a minute.
Oh.
Are you talking, caller?
I am.
Ah, yes. There you are. Hi.
Hey, how are you, Sevan?
Putting together a
Name's
half-ass show with full ass. You're a full ass caller, but this is a half-ass show, so 1.5 asses.
I sent a message on an earlier show talking about the CrossFit Journal and what happened to it, and it was an interesting explanation. And then I watched this show on the Hoover Institution earlier this weekend. And they were talking about alternative media, Substack, podcasts, and so forth. Do you think there's a place for an alternative CrossFit Journal? Like maybe it doesn't have the name, but everybody knows that's what it is.
We would have to define what the CrossFit Journal is first of all. It's kind of like CrossFit Health. I think a lot of people think that they know what CrossFit Health is, but they don't know what CrossFit Health is. The people who are running it don't even know what CrossFit Health is. CrossFit Health was founded. I mean, I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm just telling the truth. CrossFit Health was founded by Greg Glassman and run by a lady named Karen Thompson. And it was about the ills of modern medicine, basically showing like statins were the #1 selling drug in the world. And he would bring up scientist after scientist who would be like, how the fuck are people using this? And they would talk about the fallacy behind cholesterol and all of this stuff, right? Like real science,
right.
not. And so the journal was kind of like that, right? It's Greg Glassman telling you to squat below parallel while the NSCA and the rest of the world or whoever is saying, no, don't squat below parallel. Right. So,
right.
Is there a space for truth tellers? I mean, yeah, dude. The hardest thing is no one wants to do it until you're canceled. Once you're canceled, it's good to go. And even then, people are scared. But once you're next time Sevan unbuttons his vest, he should have the CEO. I know. Yeah. So I think that's the issue with the journal. It's really bizarre that the journal hasn't been pulled forward. Here's the thing. I was thinking about it today. They have the lady Erin who's running. They call her chief marketing officer. And we would have never had marketing at CrossFit before because Greg didn't believe in selling anything to anyone. He just believed in adding value to stuff. So we called it the media team. She was brought in by Eric Rosa. So I'm assuming Eric Rosa was supposed to train her and get her up to speed on what the company is. Well, not only did he probably not have enough time to get her up to speed, I'm guessing, is that now, and he didn't even know what CrossFit is. You remember, this is the guy when I left the company, he texted me and said, thank you for everything you've done for the games. That's like, I would guess like, if Josh Bridges said that to me, I'm like, yeah, cool. No problem. Thanks, bro. Like I get it. Right. That's where I saw him on the field of play. But no one who has even the tiniest bit of notion of what CrossFit is would say that to me. They would be like, holy shit. Thank you for all the movement videos and being the primary source of videos from CrossFit from 2007 to 2010, non-games related. I mean, so they don't don't even know what they're sitting on, the treasure trove. Like they don't even know that Greg like people still, I mean 90% of CrossFitters don't know. And I guess you can drive a car and not really know the true value of the combustion engine and what's going on in there. But 90% but it is important someone knows. It is important someone knows, right? Like the CEO of engineering at Ford has to know that. but or the head of the engineering team. But if Greg wouldn't have defined fitness, there would be no like this thing wouldn't be so profound, and people don't get that. Like it's a tiny little spark that's causing the whole explosion for the Ferrari to go 210 miles an hour. Damn, my arms look good today. I'm telling you, dude, I'm about to get, I know, I'm telling you, I'm about to get something all juiced up and nowhere to go.
But
What do you
But I
think?
mean,
What do you think? What do you think? I need to ask more questions. This is a podcast where I'm supposed to ask questions. What do you think, my friend?
I mean, if CrossFit's really, an idea, it's like, how do you, and we kind of detach from, the word or the brand or the logo a little bit. And you just say it's the idea of functional fitness. We have a definition, the 10 general physical skills, and we have all of this knowledge and this really good idea that was, initially started by that content on the old website and the journal and so forth. Like, how do you get that back out again? Because it seems to me like CrossFit is, like you said, sort of just becoming the games in the open, but really it was this whole other thing about health and fitness. And how do you get that idea back on track? Is there a different route? Like, can somebody else do it?
The thing is, here's what's interesting though, right? What was your name? Greg, here's what's interesting. It still is that we're just confused. It's like it's like looking at just a huge pair of beautiful titties and not realizing that it's really just a gelatinous sacks of fucking fat with blood and veins and arteries and shit in them. You know what I mean? Like we're so confused. We're so confused. All that stuff is still on the inside. I mean, that's all the affiliates. That's what's so crazy. And even, I mean, the only surviving media. Oh, I don't know if this is true. I'm going to say it and then someone can tell me to go fuck myself. The only surviving media that's not games related around CrossFit Inc. is this fucking show right here. Exterior. And in the inside, I don't know what's left. There's some DEI media, maybe CrossFit Training, that Instagram account. That's a fascinating story you might be interested in. When the CEO was brought in, the one that came before Dave, the one that came before Greg and Dave, the one that was eventually fired. Sorry, Logan, I don't mean to ruin tits for you. I mean, they're great, but they are what they are. And that guy, I forget where I was even going with this. What were we talking about? The tits thing. I can't turn off these damn comments. Oh, surviving media. So that guy told us to turn off all of our social media accounts. Told us to turn off Facebook. Told us to turn off Instagram. Now imagine that, and just so you know the implications of that. When we turn them off, revenue dropped basically 30% overnight. For all of CrossFit Inc. So to give you an idea, you guys, of why you think that might work, if there are 1 billion users on Instagram, I want you to do the math. If 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% were to accidentally stumble upon the training page and buy a seminar, I mean, when you have 1 billion, it can just be a few, 5 a day, right. 20 a day, and so they turn all that off and we're fucked. And then now I just don't think there's no proof of what CrossFit is except in the affiliates. And that's a huge amount of proof, but coming out of HQ or coming out of the external media sphere, who is it? Right. You have Craig Ritchie making amazing content, not core content. It's how cool he is. We have the Buttery Bros doing it. There's some mixture of core content in there, but it's mostly just like it's fun, get to know people, kind of Pee-wee Playhouse. We have Nate and Ezekiel, the guy in, what the fuck is that guy's name? Weeks. Like Wheaties? Weeks. They're kind of like more like up to news, like reporting on like, hey, today Dave Castro broke his toe and the games is being moved a week later because of a storm cloud that's coming. You know what I mean? They're like kind of like the TMZ. UFC's got a lot of that. I like that shit.
Mayhem's got a little bit too, right?
Yeah, Mayhem has all that stuff. Jerking off Froning. I'm all about jerking off Froning. Give him a Hans job. Loving on the Froning empire. Wondering, you're like watching those videos, seeing if you can see Fikowski in the background yet. But no one's doing. This is interesting. Oh no, this
What,
is
just-
Christoph. I thought maybe it was Laura Horvath's brother, but it's
How-
he's not in Mallorca or Mallorca, wherever.
oh my god.
Anyway, so there isn't no one even knows what CrossFit is anymore. It's all just lost it's lost.
I think I remember too, when you got a level 1, they would give you like a year subscription.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
So
All CrossFit Inc. has to do, it's so easy. All they have to do is bring the journal back up to the front, ditch that DEI tab or whatever that fucking virtue signaling shit that you're trying to do. Put the journal up there. If you want it to just be pictures of all the people working out or Asian and black and brown, fine. I'm okay with that. I don't care. Or fat people or chicks or whatever. Anything besides white dudes, cool. Let's do it. And bring the journal up, and everything you publish, put in there. And give a little bit of budget to it. What I would recommend is, with the money that you've saved from firing Rosa, and I recommend, and this will change the entire landscape for every single affiliate. It's so easy to do. It costs $10,000 to make an insane transformation story. So you hire someone like, what's the guy's name? There's a guy named Torrin out there who used to work for CrossFit. Amazing guy, Emmy winner. You pay him $10,000, or like Michael Dalton, you pay him $10,000, and they go somewhere and they find a fat black guy who's blind, who's started CrossFit a year ago, and now he's lost 60 pounds, and he's getting laid, and he's going to his L1. And you release one of those every single week for 52 weeks a year. Yeah, that guy's a beast. And you release one of those, man, what a fucking talent. That guy would make his own equipment when it was needed. Anyway, and you just release one of those a week, 52 weeks a year, and you just hammer it. Sometimes it's a Los Angeles Lakers cheerleader who uses it to stay fit, but you just show these transformations. Her husband, it's a LA Lakers cheerleader. Her husband died, and she uses CrossFit for community support, right? And you just tell one of these stories every single week. And what you're doing now is you're giving all the affiliates the only real thing they want from HQ. They don't want you to fuck up the brand by like having the CEO say he's mentally ill. They don't, and then they want content.
Right.
That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, and then publish it in the journal. It comes out every week, and we're all excited and happy. And then have some videos with like Lisa Ray teaching someone the squat. I don't even know if she still works at CrossFit, but if she does, have her do it. She's great. Or Michelle Moots or someone.
Yeah, no, I like totally agree. It's like, how to get them to do it. And
it's so easy. I would, if they hired me back for $50,000 a year, I'd run that for them. I
don't know what we're waiting for.
I'd run that for them. It's so easy. I mean, I told Greg this. I told when Dave was CEO, Dave started letting me fire it up, but he's only CEO for like 2 months, and I got like 6 projects in the making. And the dude, but we take that's the key to take over. Show kids in the what's that? Falafels? What are the kids living in Brazil? Favelas. You show kids in Brazil doing it. You show kids in Ethiopia doing it. You show special ops doing it. You show the Taliban doing it. You show Russian troops invading Ukraine doing it. You just show their stories. Like, you show all the stories. You show my mom doing it.
Taliban can't even use ellipticals correctly. What makes you think they can do CrossFit?
Okay. Sorry. Look at Caleb's never just put himself on the show. You talk about the Taliban, and the Air Force guy just flies in.
He was triggered. He was triggered.
Fucking triggered. Caleb got triggered.
Terrorism is not a joke, guys.
So yes, everything else. So I agree. They got to bring the journal back. How are they going to do it? What's it going to look like? I don't know. Will they do it? They don't even know what they have yet. We got to just give them another 5 years to figure out what they have.
They're not going to do it. They're going to sell shoes. So they're going to turn into commodities. CrossFit jump ropes, CrossFit t-shirt, CrossFit shoes, CrossFit sunglasses, CrossFit sunscreen, CrossFit backpacks. CrossFit
Greg told us that it would. Basically, Greg told us at one point it would never. Wow. Caller, do you mind if I let you go? I want to get this call from New Zealand.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sevan.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, you're so polite with the callers.
Thank you. Hello, how are you? What time is it?
Hey, how you going? It is 3:20 p.m. at the moment.
Okay. On what day?
Monday, 21st of February. How you going?
Good. Hey, could there be a 21st of February?
Yep.
Could there be a wave so big that it just takes out your whole country?
Probably. probably.
What's the highest point on
How you
New
going?
Zealand? What's the highest point? Like if there was a tsunami, where could you?
Ooh.
What's the highest point?
Hey, we've got Mount Cook, which is, let's have a look, 12,000 feet.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
3,724.
All right,
Yeah,
all right,
we're good.
all right,
We're
all
good.
right, you're good.
Good to be on the show. Just want to say, love this show. Love everything you're doing. It's awesome. Keep it up.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
I wanted to drop, this may be news, this may not. I'm trying to keep up a little bit
Okay.
episodes, but been talking to some Australian athletes, and they mentioned to me that they are not allowed, like last year, they were allowed to, for the semi-final stage, they were allowed to go to, like Tia didn't have to come back for the Torian Pro.
Yes.
But the rumor is that sounds like CrossFit has told them this year they have to travel back to Australia. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah.
Boy. Here's the reason why I would need to know more. This is a really just off the cusp. I don't think anyone should have to travel anywhere outside of the United States, because to come here, you have to be vaccinated if you're a foreigner. So if you are here, basically what CrossFit is doing is they're forcing any athletes who want to compete to get vaccinated. Now you could say, well, that's not their fault. That's the country's fault. Let's not even say vaccinated. To take a drug injection of an untested fucking drug that's new on the market, blah, 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 blah. You know my shtick. Okay. So why should they have to do that to compete? Well, those are the rules. Nothing's fair. Fuck off. Stay in your own country if you don't like it. But what if you're here already? What if T has been here the whole time and she doesn't want to get the injection? What if her coaching team doesn't want to get the injection and they're making her go home and then come back here? I don't know. I think it's bullshit. I think it's completely insane. I'm a huge fan of what Djokovic, is that his name? Djokovic? Novak Djokovic, the tennis player. I'm a huge, good job. Good job.
Yeah, it was a big spanner in the works, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah. Fuck that guy. Is it Ralph Nadal? And is that who ended up going there and winning?
I don't know.
And well, whoever went there and ended up winning the Australian Open, he's a bitch. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, that is not standing. He's a bitch. He really is. You got to stand by your guy. You got to stand. You guys, people have to stand together. People have to stand together.
Another question.
What do you think about it? What do you think about it? What do you think about it?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's pretty crazy for some of these athletes who have moved to America, kind of Canada, that kind of area. They're training all year round, and then they have to fly back across the world to compete. I don't know. It's a massive expense. Like when there was rumors that Tia had to do it last year, it was like, well, she was kind of explaining, especially about I forget about quarantine as well, but like. It's a massive ask, but and everyone said, oh, she can click her fingers and sponsors would pay for it, but there's a lot of logistics going on.
The quarantine's insane too. The quarantine's insane in Australia. Yeah. You fly into one town, you're quarantined for 2 weeks, then you got to drive to your town, you're quarantined for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Someone should be.
Yeah. No, well, there was a bit of an uproar last year because I'm in New Zealand, so the New Zealand athletes. I was wondering what was going to work to get over to Australia to be able to compete at Torian Pro. But it managed to work. It worked out great. We all got there and it all went fine. I shoot CrossFit media stuff with my mate Callum, and we're called the Crispy Dudes. We were thinking about being called the Margarine Men, but we thought that was pretty lame. But and we travelled to Torian. We've shot behind the scenes at New Zealand Nationals. We shot a bit of behind the scenes at Torian, which is so much fun. But definitely inspired by you. At first, I thought, who? Can you swear on the show? I don't know.
Yes, you may. Only you, though.
I just thought, who the
else.
fuck? I just thought, who the fuck is this guy asking questions? This is back when I found CrossFit and I was watching the early videos, and it was you. And I thought, who is this guy? And obviously, I grew to love what you're doing. I kind of realized that you're probing deeper than the superficial, and you were like, I don't know, just throwing a spanner out there for these athletes. So when we went over to Australia, we were allowed access backstage, and I was like, what do we ask these athletes? But obviously we didn't want to just try and be you, but it's like, yeah. So what goes through your mind when you are backstage and you're talking to these athletes or in the little pen before a workout? Like, is there something that's off limits, or are you like, hey, I'm just going to push the buttons and hit record and see what comes out, or what's your mindset there? I'd love to know. Because I got roasted by a Cara Saunders. Whew.
You got roasted by Cara Saunders?
Yeah, she got me good. Yeah.
Tell me.
I can give you the full story if you want, but okay.
Can you make it quick? Hey, I want to show Cara. I want to, before you talk about Cara Saunders, I want to show her really quick. Just really quick. Do you see those two clips? Thank you, Caleb. He gave me the. I would like to know what Brian Friend thinks about this. This fucking chick is out of fucking control. Let's ogle Cara Saunders' body for a second. Are you kidding me? And here she's like yelling at someone. Look at her traps. I'm telling you, like she's someone's in trouble this year. I want to move her back up in the rankings. Click this other one where she's pulling a boat with her kid in it.
She looks fit.
Feel free to ogle this shit out of her body, everyone who's watching this. If you don't like good bodies, look away. If you're offended by the female form, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's mama power. Look at her. Look at that jaw. She's fucking there to eat. Oh, don't scroll. Don't be crass, Caleb, and scroll down to her vagina and just her titties and cut off her head. That's not cool at all. Come on, man. What are you, some sort of scumbag? I mean, look at this body. Holy shit. It's nuts. Yeah, that looks like she's in it to win it.
Yeah, she looks good. She's real fit.
I'm a little concerned that she doesn't have her thumb wrapped around that the front of the boat and that like a little more of a hook grip.
She don't need to hook grip that boat.
I guess she doesn't need it. You know, she's strong enough to four-finger pull that boat. Yeah. Look at even her boat's about to bite her ass. Look at the teeth on her boat. Even her boat's not fucking around. Okay, go ahead. Now you can badmouth her. What do you want to say about it?
So we were the girls were about to go on the final heat in one of the events. I don't know, in the middle of the day, and I was standing there in the little like lanes as they were about to, 5 minutes before they go out, and they're waiting for the heat that was going. And I was just pointing the camera at people, maybe having a chat, trying to build some confidence up. I knew some of the athletes, and I didn't know others. And I was talking to Ali Turner, and I've met her once or twice before at Australia CrossFit Champs and whatnot. She's great. And I just said, "Oh, Ali, how are you feeling?" And then Cara, this is on our behind the scenes, by the way, if you want to check us out on YouTube, but Cara just kind of stopped me and was like, "Don't you ever ask an athlete that?" And she kind of goes on to explain why. Man, like really, like you don't want to mess with Cara. So she's pretty much just like, "Hey, look, she's not going to give you a real answer, because she's not going to say that she's tired right now, right before she goes out in front of for like the rest of the heat. So you're not going to get the true answer. Like, don't try and get in your head. She's like trained up before a workout, so kind of piss off." Well, that's what I got from it. And man, it just rocked my confidence for the whole day. I was like, "Oh, I don't even know what to ask anymore." I was just like,
I know that feeling.
Okay. For those of you who don't speak New Zealand, I have to really concentrate to fucking understand this. This gentleman said that he was like at some sort of starting line, or no, don't be sorry. It's a beautiful accent.
Corral.
Started. He was at the corral, and Ellie Turner was there, who we tried to interview, and Ellie Turner and Cara Saunders was there, and this gentleman was doing a behind the scenes, and he asked Ellie Turner, "So how are you feeling?" or something generic like that to break the ice, and Cara Saunders put a whooping on him, and he had his confidence broken. I want to tell you, oh man, I don't think I've ever told a story. There was 1 year I was doing the behind the scenes. I was so scared to talk to the girls. I had my wife do it. I gave my wife fucking camera. I'm not even shitting you. Like the women are so fucking weird. They are. I don't even get them. They're so weird. Not all of them. You know, there's Sarah Sigmund's daughter. There's who's the girl from England we had on the show? She's Sam Briggs. There's Danielle Brandon. There's girls that like. There's Catherine David's daughter. God, that hurts my soul to say that. They're great. They are so fucking good with the camera. They're so real. They'll give it to you. But man, it's hard. It's like when I start these podcasts, I'm so fucking insecure for the first like 10 seconds. And if some guests were just to blast me in that first 10 seconds, like Cara blasted you, I'd probably just hit the button, hang up button, and run. Run inside and hide behind the toilet. I get it. I mean, I'm fully with you. It's fucked up. People have no idea. That's why you look at what Huber and Lars do, and you're like, holy shit. Not only are they out there, they're acting like Pee Wee Herman. How the fuck do they do that? But kind of ignorance is
Yeah.
kind of bliss too. I think when I'm asking questions, I think, okay, a question pops up and I'm like, I don't want to ask that. And then I usually will start circling it like a shark. Like I'll feel myself circling the question, and maybe I'll ask like 2 or 3 loaded questions to get to that question. But what comes to my mind is like, you know, there's a guy and he's rubbing fucking Brooke Wells's glutes, and I'm in the back room, and it's like, dude, do you have a girlfriend? I mean, I just got to ask him like right there. And then the whole thing is like to get her Brooke's reaction, his reaction, and my reaction. But I do not want to ask that, but it has to be said.
Yeah.
It's a dude rubbing some other chicks like the best ass on planet Earth. And it's like, what, like you gotta wonder. And some girls don't like dudes rubbing another girl. Some chicks don't like their dudes rubbing another girl's ass, especially when it's the greatest ass on the planet. And so makes for, you gotta ask it. If you don't, you fucked up. You owe it to all of us to find out. And that dude was cool as shit. And you know what? Brooke Wells was even fucking cooler.
I remember that scene.
Because if you're not cool like that, you're a fake fuck. This guy
like,
made fucking Facebook to get pussy. And you're all on Facebook, and your grandma's on Facebook. You're all a bunch of scumbags.
Yeah.
We know it already. We know Zucker made it to get pussy. We saw the movie. We read the book. Now you're all on it trying to get pussy. Like, all right. You feel me? See the connection I'm putting there? I mean, I'm being a little strong, but you get it. It's like,
no, good. Yeah, cool.
All right.
No, it's just crazy how some athletes are so different, like Khan and Royce Dunn. They're so chatty backstage, whereas maybe even like James Newbury can be quite. He was sitting there just doing some breath work and stuff before. So it's just really interesting how different athletes kind of approach the preparations. Everything. Yeah.
Someone like Josh Bridges or Rich Froning will and probably Catching was the same, but I don't know specifically. But definitely Bridges and Rich know how to and Noah know how to use the camera people by that. And we want to be used. Do you know what I mean? They know how to talk to us to make themselves calm down. They know how to calm us down. They use us to help their situation. They're not, you know what I mean? Khalipa finally, after a year or two, figured it out. It's basically like, hey, they're nervous. They'll talk to us and calm their nerves, or they'll get some time, or they just know how to use the media. And I don't mean just in the sense of like get their name out, their Instagram followers. I mean, as actually use them to facilitate a better performance. They know they're going to have to deal with us, that we're there. I mean, Noah is a master at it. So is Josh and Rich. I mean, like I could be looking at Rich from across the room and be like, okay, come over. You know what I mean? Thank you. Like fuck, like all my prayers have been answered today. And if you get a couple of those back to back, like after Cara steps on your dick, but if Rich calls you over and Josh tells you he likes you or makes fun of you, or even better, makes fun of you, then you kind of build up your sack again and you can go over and talk to Cara. And then you have to be like, dude, that was harsh. You broke my confidence. And you know what I mean? You kind of got to like just face that demon too and start with that. Throw it back on her.
True.
But you also don't want to fuck. You never want to fuck them up. You never want to influence their performance, at least in the negative. Never. I would never ask them to pose or do some shit that like I was pretty respectful.
All good. Well, if I headed back over to Torian this year, we'd love to do something. If you need some media coverage over there. I don't know if you're going to be sending people over to Australia, but we'd love to hook it up and do some interviews for you or something.
We're so ghetto. We won't be sending anyone anywhere, but we could probably use you there if you do have an iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah. Would you send me an email? SevanMatosian@gmail.com.
Yeah. Easy. Sounds good.
Yeah, you the man. All right.
Soon.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome. Take care, brother.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. I don't think I asked Lucas Parker if he's ever tried meth. That seems a little out there.
That doesn't seem like something you'd say at all.
Hey, how about this guy's name is Dick Butter? He's a reg.
Yeah.
There was.
Hey,
There
no, we
was.
have a
There
website.
was supposed to, or there was,
or there wasn't. Who knows?
Yeah. Hang tight, guys. Hang tight.
Big news is I'm gonna get a background.
Hang tight. Don't get me in trouble. Hang tight.
Hey, we have a website we could direct people to contact us now. You don't have to give out your email address.
Oh, what do we have?
We got a website. They go to
Oh.
the
Oh.
sevonpodcast.com. They can go to
Oh.
the contact form, and they could drop us whatever they like. You want to come on the show? Think you're good enough? Got enough followers? Drop it in there. You got a comment? You want to help out with something? Drop it in there, and we'll help you guys out.
Want to be a sponsor?
Drop it in there.
Hey, if you want to be a sponsor, actually use my email address. No, my mom was ripping on this photo.
Really?
Yeah, my mom said but you know, when I think I was sending you guys photos for something else, and I thought that was a funny photo, and then it ended up on the site. Can you scroll around on the site? I haven't actually been to the site yet. You know that?
Oh gosh, that doesn't surprise me.
Excuse me.
You don't like that photo?
I mean, my lips. I mean, what expression is that?
You know what we'll do is when your hair and beard gets super long in a little bit, we'll have it to where when you scroll the mouse over it, it changes, and we'll just set that up the same way. Same shirt, same straps. But it'll just switch from that to enlightenment. Look at this.
This is cool. Wait, where is this,
Look at
Caleb?
this. It's under our blog.
Wow.
Also, if you have a cool article you would like to submit, please use the contact form, and we will take your intellectual property and use it as our own.
Wait a second. Who does that? Caleb, who does that?
The website.
GLM does. They transcribe just popular, like I think they did our most popular podcast so far, and then it just gets pasted in here. So you see comments from Souza, stuff that you say, and then whenever we have guests on, it'll show like whatever they say. Basically, it's like it's like literally an hour and a half long
Oh my goodness, it's a script. It's a movie.
We got our screenplay out now.
I think we just need to tell them like who these guests are, I guess. I think it's just automated. Like it doesn't like know who the person is. It just like picks up.
Or yeah, I wonder if speaker would have been
text.
somebody calling. Did we have any people call in on that show? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that was a live call-in show. So
Yeah.
Maybe that's right then.
Let me see that photo again. The one on the. I don't know. Someone said there's someone in here said that photo is in Africa. I'd have to see the background. I don't think I would wear those glasses to Africa. I think I'm so funny. Okay. Darren wants to know if the rumors are true that I'm moving to the morning chalk up. There may be. That was going to be the big news this week. But it'll hang up on pay. Hector Trinta HQ will have something. Listen, Sevan, and take notes, but to cancel Sevan like the ones who did it to Rogan. God, I hope someone cancels me again. That shit is a boon for your career. So I had Hans Kim on, and people were saying he is legitimately autistic. Do we, Caleb? Is there any way to search that? Like,
I looked it up earlier, actually.
Is he?
When you mentioned it, I didn't see anything. There was a Reddit article about it, but I don't think he's autistic. Well, okay, he might have like Asperger's. Basically.
Did he make a joke on the show? Did you guys listen to it? I'm thinking maybe at one point he made a joke where people say I'm autistic, or that it's because I'm autistic, and I think I just let that go over my head. Like I would say, because I'm a midget. Like you just like a.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall him saying that, but I did look it up, and I saw he had like a bit where he mentioned something about how people said he's autistic. So that might be like a bit that he has too.
Okay.
We'll have to read the transcript when it comes out.
I wish I could look. I wish I could see the screen when I do that.
Oh, it's covered up by your chair is the same color as your nose. I can't even tell.
Shit! All right, maybe I'm gonna hurt myself. Last time I pretended to give this mic a blowjob, I told myself I'd never do anything like that again. I hurt my fucking jaw.
Yeah, don't let it cramp.
God,
we don't need a neck tweak online here.
That's happened in real time before. Guys, I want to explain.
I got a clip of it.
Oh, thanks. You suck. You suck, Caleb. Hey, so what happens on our Real Sevan podcast thing? I saw Sarah Sigmund's when Will publishes, there's a button in Instagram where you can say offer to collab with someone.
Yes.
Yep.
And where do people get that request? Have I ever got that request?
You're
Probably.
I
shadow
just
banned.
don't see it. Like, has anyone ever requested to, like, does Paper Street Coffee ever post something and then they're like, we want to collab with Sevan, and then I miss it and I don't click it? Where does that pop up?
No, I don't think you would be able to, because you're like your main account.
Yeah.
You can't do anything to that. I can't mention you. I can't put you in comments.
Okay. Not me. Let's say someone else.
Well,
It would
it
probably
works
just
for
show up in
me.
their notifications, like just as
Yeah.
if somebody had tagged you in a picture or something. Oh,
Oh, really? It's in there. It's in the heart. So you got to hit that heart. And like, I never do.
Oh, there you
any,
go. Will just said it's in your messages.
Oh, okay. So I would see it. That's the only place I check is my messages. The
Well, there you
heart's
go.
a mess. Who has time for the heart? Unless I post something and I want to see if like people think it's funny.
Oh, see, Will
And
also
then-
said here in the comment. He said he looks autistic, so he plays it as a joke. Not that he was.
What? Oh, and Will was Will on that show? Will can't be
Yeah.
on that show. Will was
Yeah,
on
Will-
that show.
Will was on
Yeah.
that show.
That good Christian young man like that can't be on a show with a Hans. Holy shit.
With a loose cannon like Hans.
Some people are like, that's the most boring show ever. Some people are like, that's the most brilliant show ever. It's really interesting. I wanted to explain something to you guys, talk to you guys about something. So I was sitting in my one of my kids' class the other day, and oh, that's nice. Did you just make that?
Yeah.
Paper Street, thank you. Paper Street Coffee. If you can't get a job at Paper Street Coffee, then you should go to barbelljobs.com and look for a job. So I'm sitting in my kids' jiu-jitsu class, and there are two parents talking, and one of them is a doctor who I respect and who's been extremely helpful and polite and kind to my family. And she's talking to one of the other parents over there, and they're discussing gender. And they're talking about gender, and they're talking about it as if it's real. And I'm eavesdropping, so I'm not hearing all the details, but they're talking about it like it's real, like this wristband is real. You guys see this? Oh, darn it. Not Victos. When am I going to get the CEO wristbands? Oh, damn. They're talking about gender if it's real, like it's like this wristband. And
Okay.
I'm just tripping on it. And they're talking about how to like help a child pick their gender. And they're talking about it over and over and over. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like I wonder what my gender is. I wonder what my gender is. And then I'll be quiet and see if like I get an answer. And I'm like, shit, you don't know what gender you are. And they just keep doing that. And I hear it all the time these days. I hear it at least once a day where people conflate gender with sex. And it's really important that you guys don't do that, because it dumbs down everyone. And when you use those words wrong, what happens is you confuse what's in your head with reality. So we've all agreed that red means stop, and so we stop. But we know it doesn't really mean stop. It's an agreed upon element of our society, so we don't get in car accidents. The same with money. We know money has no value, but we've agreed upon that it has a value. So one of the ladies gets up and leaves, and I say to the other lady, I said, you know gender's not real, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. That is my gender. Shit. Thank you. That is my gender, CEO. And I say, you know, gender's not real. And the parent says to me, well, I've heard you say that before in your podcast, but I don't get it. And I want to explain it to you guys in two ways. And I'm sure this isn't the last time I'm going to explain it. But if someone asks you what your sex is, you can always look in your pants. You just or if you're not wearing pants, you just look down at your crotch. And if you have a penis, the word to signify that sex is man. And if you have a vagina, the way to signify that sex is woman. And if you have both, I think they're called hermaphrodite, like Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Jamie Lee Curtis has both?
Yeah. Though it's on the outside,
No,
like
really?
this wristband. Sex is, I think so. Yeah, she's hot,
Oh,
right?
shit.
She's a hot hermaphrodite. You didn't know you would bang a hermaphrodite, but well, we all would. This wristband right here, is on the outside too, like my penis and like your vagina. They're on the outside, and that's how we know that. And then we use the word wristband to signify it. Hermaphrodite, a person or animal having both male and female organs or other sexual characteristics, either abnormally or as natural condition. Oh,
Okay.
oh, I see what you mean. So it'd be abnormal for a human, but thank you, Caleb. But a leech and an earthworm has both, and it's not abnormal. It's
I think it could also be compared to like seahorses. Like the males carry the eggs, but they impregnate. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
no. Different. Seahorse is different. Seahorses, those dudes are just like me. They're bitches. They raise the kids themselves. I mean, they're real men. So when you tell someone, you would never say to your kids, hey, you have to choose, is it the Easter Bunny or is it Santa Claus that brings you your presents? Do you guys see what I'm saying? You're making up two fake creatures, two fake things, and you're having them choose one that brings them the presents. Neither of those things really bring your kids the presents. It's either the UPS driver, the FedEx driver, or the Amazon driver. There is no Santa Claus, and there is no Easter Bunny. We pretend like there is, but we really know there's not, because we can look out the window after we would look down and see our penis and we know we're a man. We look out the window and we see the Amazon driver drop the package off. We know it's not Santa. These people want to believe in Santa and the Easter Bunny. Now, here's the problem. That's why I said, when you tell a kid, Sevan's gender vest, this is my gender vest. When you tell a kid, hey, when you start explaining to a kid what gender is, you're asking them to believe in the boogeyman. You're asking them to believe in Santa or the bunny. They're not ready. Most adults can't even figure out what I'm saying. They're not ready to realize it's not real. It's made up. If afterwards you're 18 or 25 or whatever and you want to pick a gender for yourself, go for it. But it's not real. Like people like me would just complicate my life. I have no gender. I'm just like wise people. I'm sorry to say this. Wise people don't have genders. Only weak, insecure people trapped in their head have genders. I'm not even saying that to be mean. It is the truth. There is no reality to it. It is the Santa Claus. It's if you and when you trick someone, once you trick someone to start believing things in their head and they start conflating reality, this wristband, with their imagination, you'll never be able to empathize with another human being. You'll constantly be offended. You'll be defending something that's not real. It's so much work. It's such a waste of energy.
It's like the war on terrorism.
I see what you did here. The obsession of gender is harmful. I agree. It's just hard. Yeah, I agree. You got me. And the thing is it's just everywhere. I'm just protecting my kids from it now. No, Logan Mars meant to say, Sevan, I am so fucking hot. I know I make you hot, not lost. Please rewrite that. Thank you. All right. Gender is Santa Claus. That's in my notes. Sex is the FedEx guy. Like you can see him.
Right.
It's real. The NSCA case is sealed. There's a real verdict. We can't see it.
Why is that?
And it does.
Speculation.
Great.
Speculation on it.
Why do you think it is? Why do you have an idea? I have no. I mean, you can speculate the craziest things. Why would they seal that case? Why wouldn't they want all the affiliates to know Greg Glassman for years and years and years was suing the NSCA for making up false injury claims?
Maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe we should ask the question of who does, with the case being sealed, who benefits from that?
You don't think that that's even more presumptuous?
I mean, somebody benefits from it, right?
Right.
So who benefits from it? I think if you start with that, right? Like going back to your gender thing, who benefits from misinterpreting things so it causes some sort of confusion and then we base policies around it, right? Like who benefits from that?
Children should not be boxed in my gender. They should definitely not be boxed in your gender. But yeah, they should not be boxed in. That's the thing. Yeah, let them free. Let them let them roll. No one cares. No, my people called me a girl forever. I did not care. And then when you care, like you get over it. Like people think my boys are girls. So they're smashing their daughters. Yeah, well, who would benefit?
So does CrossFit? So we could just start by going off the.
You mean like
stuff,
like so an example would be CrossFit benefits because like they won $100 million and they don't want anyone to like the same way like if I was rich as fuck from this podcast, I'd want to hide it from you and Caleb so you guys didn't feel bad. Like I'd never show you my Ferrari on my social media.
Yeah.
You guys are working for free and shit.
So
I mean like that, like hide it like that.
Well, why would CrossFit want the amount that they got disclosed? Like, why wouldn't they just share that and say, like, hey, guys, we didn't want to put more efforts toward this legal battle. We're going to go ahead and close this case. And we settled for $100 million. Like, why would. So
I mean, the only thing I can think of is because the affiliates would want some of the money.
Okay, so that's one thing. How many affiliates do you even really think understand what was going on with that case? Because like when I posted that little clip about it, there was a lot of people that like DM'd me that were like, "Holy shit, I didn't realize." And that was a clip that was taken prior to the legal battle. So that was Greg like discussing when he was figuring out the information of why it mattered to us as trainers and affiliate owners. And then shortly after that, I do believe they got into the legal battle. So that was even prior to that. So. You know, I don't know. That's just why we start is like who benefits from the case being sealed? Who would benefit from us not being told? Like, we really think we're going to demand money from the legal case. Like, how would you do that? Right. Like, there's no,
I think the affiliates would be a little uncomfortable if they, I think the affiliates would be a little uncomfortable if CrossFit Inc. got $100 million for it. I think they'd also wonder, well, the smart ones would wonder why they settled for, if they settled for $2 million too, right? I mean, there was a big fucking offer on the table.
Well, $4 million just covered the legal fees that they owed. So.
Oh yeah, the $4 million wouldn't have even covered the legal fees.
Right.
Would not have, not even close. The forensics that they did on the NSCA hard drives were in the millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. And there was some bad stuff in there. I remember.
I really hope I can talk to this guy, Marshall Brennan. He used to be a friend of mine. I don't talk to him anymore because I don't want him. I really like him, but I think he's the general. What's that called? General counsel, GC.
Yeah, he's the head legal in charge, basically.
Yeah, there's a term for it for executives.
General counsel.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah. Anyway, he fucking knows the inside of that case inside and out. Russ Green knows this a lot. Yeah, that guy. So, probably the biggest class act in the entire history of him and Bruce Edwards was just such class act. Just class, like dudes that would like take my mom to like to a Philharmonic. You know what I mean? Like to the Oakland Philharmonic, like those kind of guys. Like Marshall, I think Marshall and I were the only dudes who stood up like when women walked in the room, or men. We would stand up.
Wasn't one of the
he knows that guy knows everything about the case, and it's sealed. I hope he gets fired so I can call him and ask him. I stay away from him because I don't want to compromise his job. I don't want any of my diarrhea getting on his shiny white suit. I mean, he's a class act.
I think one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sevan. I remember Greg speaking at a MDL1, and they were talking about the case after I think at that point they were getting close, like they had like won it in court or something. They were going to announce it. But either way, when they had said that there was over 200,000 emails that were being exchanged with all of them talking about CrossFit, and actually in one of the emails was wishing that there would have been a mass shooting at our CrossFit games to slow down the progress of the games. Now I can't remember if that was just something that whatever I thought about it from that, but I think there was even an email from some of those people going back and forth stating that as well too.
I'm gonna ask,
but
I don't remember that. But
speculation. I suppose.
But the stuff they did, the judge said, who is 30 years sitting on the bench, specifically in these kind of cases. They're not called defamation cases. They're called perjury cases. I forget what the word is. That's why we need someone like a Russell Berger, Russ Green, Marshall, Greg on here, Dale Saran. Holy shit. Man, and there's another guy out of San Diego. What's his name? He was the outside counsel who led the charge on this case. He was friends with Jimmy Letchford. He was a Navy guy. God, what is his name? These were all good people too. They're all great people. They were fighting the good fight. This judge who was sitting on the case for 30 years said they'd never seen a case like this with so much misconduct. They had never seen a case in 30 years. I mean, like, we would subpoena like records. They would lie to us. They told us hard drives didn't exist. They erased their phones. They threw iPads away. I mean, it was nonstop until finally, I think the judge said, hey, we're not going to have the jury decide whether these guys are guilty or innocent. I'm going to decide that ahead of time. There's a word for that. And the jury's just going to decide the damages. And it never got that far. Something happened.
Yeah.
That was such a great thing. That was Greg's project. That was so good.
Well, it was funny too if anybody read those things that I like linked on my Instagram and like went back and read the original stuff and like how important that work was. And then of course when you go over and see the stuff from Morning Chalk Up, it was like, well, now they can finally get over that and get back to the important work.
Oh, I know. It's nuts.
Like, oh man,
it's nuts.
What
Good point. Yes.
Talking about that was the important work. You know, like
now Coca-Cola and now Monster Energy drink can put its thumb up your ass. Bend over. Will you play this one-way masking clip, Caleb? I'm feeling like an adult now. This is some adult shit. This is a good one. This one's bizarre. Here we go.
Also, the science has changed.
Oh.
And we also know about one-way masking, the idea that even if other people around you are not wearing masks, if you wear a high-quality mask, that also protects you, the wearer, too.
One-way masking. After years of the media weaponizing people into the mask police, telling everybody if everyone doesn't wear a mask, they're going to kill grandma. One-way masking.
But rather that the responsibility should shift from a government mandate imposed from the state or the local district of the school. Rather, it should shift to an individual responsibility by the family.
Oh.
I don't think we should be looking at case counts at all at this point.
Whoa.
There actually is harm that we should be discussing of children continuing to mask.
Oh, really? There is.
The CDC is increasingly making itself irrelevant.
I can't bow down to the mothers, I'm too real.
I guess I'm glad she's starting to sound like me. But if you go to Democrat governor comment sections, the audience that listened to them for years are spiraling. I wonder why.
Also, the science has changed.
Oh.
The science.
How? How does that lady sleep at night? Have you seen her before? Some of the crazy shit she says.
Man, I
don't understand how people even work there. I don't even understand how people work there. Wouldn't you like if I found out that it was true that Eric Rosa was promoted to head of the Chamber of Commerce or whatever the fuck position he is, head of the what's that position he got? Chairman of the board. If I thought that was really a promotion, if I found out that was a promotion and he left on his own and that I reported that completely all wrong and that Shawnee and Tommy were right, I would fucking like come out here and like I'd come out here and fucking drink myself until oblivion for you guys so you can watch me. And I'd apologize and beg for your forgiveness. I have a box of Kleenex here, and I would make a fucking mockery out of myself. I would have to start like when I smashed Austin Malleolo, and then I realized he didn't work there, that he had sold the business 6 months earlier. For what I do, first thing I came on here is apologized. I'm not saying I deserve for my apology to be accepted, but I would apologize. How does that lady come on there and talk about one-way masking and personal accountability and responsibility after 2.5 years of our little kids being masked? Not my kids. I ain't no bitch, but some of you motherfuckers out there. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like they have all these people in the Super Bowl just hanging out, no mask. They're like, hey, but your kids on Monday, when they go back to school, make sure they're wearing their masks and make sure they got their plastic dividers up. So just in case. You know. Dude,
I went to the beach today and there's a cafe there and it says you can't order from the cafe unless you're vaxxed. And so then I see some people walk away and I'm like, you can't, and you have to have a mask on regardless if you're vaxxed or not. And you can't be in there at all if you're not vaxxed. So some people walking away, I'm like, hey, did they require you to wear a mask when you went in there? And they're like, they're pretty cool. So I stand, as I approach the front of the restaurant, this little cafe, it's like a 15 by 15 foot, like, just opening, and you walk in and, the lady says to me, "Hey, do you got a mask?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, can you just order from the door?" I was like, "Oh, that's cool as shit. Yeah, I'd love to just order from the door."
Scream into the building.
Yeah. So I order from the door, and then she's like, and then I go to walk away, and then she's like, "Well, are you gonna pay?" I go, "Yeah, I'd love to pay." So come on in and pay.
I mean,
so I hang out there. And everyone's mad. And we're at the fucking beach, dude. We're at Steamers, like one of the greatest waves in the world at the lighthouse. It's fucking going off. There's people everywhere. And like 50% of them are masked. It's absolutely bonkers. And I'm watching and people are going in there with their masks and paying and just doing all this shit. And it's like, I saw some kid go in there without a mask. He's wearing a CrossFit Santa Cruz sweatshirt. I was like, yeah bitch. They were nice. They were nice people. I highly recommend that cafe, but it's just bizarre. I can't come in there and order, but I can come in there and pay. I mean,
yeah.
It's the same.
Go ahead, Gabe.
It's the same as walking in there with a mask on and sitting down to eat your food. It's
and then taking your mask off.
Yeah, and then taking your mask off to eat. It's like that. I think there's no difference. You're gonna sit in there longer than you are gonna walk to your table.
Do you know how you can spot a child molester? I cracked the code. Someone who sneezes into their mask. Like if you're wearing a mask and you don't take it off and you sneeze, you're a child molester. That's Trudeau logic. Canadian Trudeau logic. There's no truth to that, people. I'm just fucking around. I saw 3 people in the last. Every time I see, I've seen 3 people in the last 2 days sneeze with their mask on. They don't even poof, and I see their mask like come off their face, like in the cartoons, like come off, and then like I saw a guy holding a baby and sneeze with his mask on, and he's just like his eyes are all watering and shit. I'm like,
mucus is just pouring out.
I didn't see that, but it should be. I told one of my friends who's like a pretty hardcore mask wearer, I'm like, dude, I saw someone sneeze in a mask, and they're like, that's disgusting. I'm like, well, at least you know.
I mean, more importantly than the mask thing is obviously just a show of people's different degrees of critical thinking, especially at this point, 2 years in. But the scary thing about me is that how do they still go along with it? Like, how do they still convince themselves? And like, what are they actually using as like their reasoning for wearing it? Like, is it, oh, I just don't want to upset other people? Or is it truly like a fear-based thing? Or do they actually think they're doing some sort of good? And then where does that, like, that type of thinking or the type of subconscious like action, like that's scary because
that is scary.
It's eroding liberty. And as everything
did you hear
else,
Bill Gates, what he said today or yesterday? Will you play that, Bill? Really? Oh, Bill Gates said it's like wearing fucking pants. Oh, we can, and I've seen politicians write that too. Oh, you have to wear a shirt, and now it's a big deal. You have to wear a mask. I'm like, holy shit, these fucking people are nuts. And next, you're gonna have to take the cock. Oh, Sevan, you're going too far. No one would ever ask you to take the cock unwillingly.
Well, especially after the Omicron variant where everybody got it. It didn't matter if I'll go and play the clip.
Oh, not this one. Sorry. Let go to the reinstate mask one first. Let's play that one. This one's a little different. I don't think I have the right Bill Gates one. Go to the reinstate mask mandate. This is absolutely, this touches on what Sue's saying. I can't wrap my head around this at all.
Reinstate! Last mandate! Reinstate! Last mandate! Reinstate! Last mandate! Reinstate! Last mandate! Reinstate!
These are people
Reinstate! Last mandate!
asking for the reinstatement of a mask mandate.
And I would be curious as to how many of them could actually have a unemotional, intelligent conversation as to why we would do that at all.
Have you had somebody just like be completely wrong, and then every time you prove them wrong, they just continue to dig themselves a deeper hole?
Yeah,
like
they eventually attack. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that's where people are at by now. They've been so tied into this for so long that somebody finally proves them wrong, and they're just like, no, I couldn't have been wrong for these past 2 years. Like, there's no way that I could have followed along with this bullshit for so long, and then somebody proves them, hey, no, literally, this is all fucking stupid as shit. And
yeah,
they just dig themselves into their position even further.
I think Victor hit it with his comment here. He said they've made mask wearing their identity. And that's a powerful way to actually change habits, right? Like you're not somebody who like wants to eat raw meat. You're somebody who identifies as the person that eats raw meat. So it starts to really integrate in with
gender.
your personality
Well,
or
this dude,
the gender argument.
this dude called me on it earlier. The difficult 10 light guy. He said, yeah, it's just as bad to to program people with, you know, gender imaginary shit without telling them it's imaginary as it is to be obsessed with it. Yeah, you start to, like, I could become obsessed with gender and be the guy who's like identify with the guy who has to educate people on the difference between gender and sex. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good to be a Democrat and base your identity on hating Republicans, and it's not good to be a Republican and base your identity on hating Democrats. And that's what it's become.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying the mask thing is the same way. It's like become part of their identity.
And I think a lot of times too, I was talking to
That's bizarre, man. That is fucking bizarre.
I was talking to one of my friends, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, you know, I was talking to my grandma, and she was getting all upset at the news and was saying those damn Republicans and blah blah blah." And so anyhow, I said, "Hey, next time you go to make a point, or she makes a point back to you, just say okay, and then let her sit with the thought." Because so quickly we want to start to defend our position or go right to proving something. And one thing that I found that during the discussions is if I normally start when they say something, I say, yeah, I don't disagree. And then you let it sit there for a minute. And then you actually start to slowly unwind your point where clearly you're disagreeing with what they've said. But if you said, I don't disagree, or you just say, okay, it actually gives them space in their head rather than to formulate their argument. It gives them space in their head to listen back to what they said.
Right.
And so sometimes, and then within that space, like only they could change their mind. That's why they say reading is so powerful, right? Because sometimes you could watch stuff or you could have another person do it. But if I read something and it's an opinion, or I'm reading, you know, whatever, a discussion about something, it's me telling myself in my own head. So therefore, I don't have to have a defense mechanism against that. I don't have to say, no, you're wrong or they're wrong, because it's just my internal thoughts, right? So you could do that in conversation by just allowing a little space before your rebuttal, but you have to kind of emotionally detach from it, which I know is hard sometimes.
Sorry, I'm reading right now. Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and through him I will find God, and he is the only way. Oh, sorry, we're still on the air. Sorry, I was just doing some reading. I mean, brainwashing myself. Fascinating.
Allowing me the space.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How about that lady who was fucking ripping on Jesus and God, and she fucking passed out on stage and cracked her skull?
The comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was saying that she got like 5 different shots back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah, and then talk some shit about Jesus and his dad and got fucking, what do they call that in the Bible? Smited. Yeah, she fell down and cracked her head. And then she went on Dr. Drew, and Dr. Drew said it's still a good idea to take the vaccine. Wow.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
So there was a I had a cure. I had a Cure the Dawn on, and we were talking about manifesting shit and about thinking about stuff. And he was talking about how he either read a book. I think he read a book on like, I think he read Snatch. Was that a book before it was a movie? I think he read Snatch and he got really, really into it. That's the movie with Brad Pitt where they like you can't understand half the movie, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and he read that book and he got really interested in that whole scene with the whole heroine and the Scottish scene or whatever those people are. Irish, whatever they are. And basically then like 6 months later, he's in that world. He's in the heroin world with fentanyl and people with crazy accents. And he's like, holy shit, I fucking manifest this. And then we talked about how he's done that throughout his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then later on that day, I have Hans Kim on. Hans Kim is the Asian comedian, North Korean, Oriental. He's on, I said that to fuck with people. He's on, and he opens for Joe Rogan. And watching Joe Rogan all the way back to 2013 or whatever is what got him into comedy. So 2013, Joe Rogan was nobody, but he knew of Joe Rogan and he watched him and loved him and admired him. And he got into comedy and now he opens for Joe Rogan. He lives in the same city as Joe Rogan. He sees Joe Rogan on the regular. I'm like, holy shit, you manifested that. Well, in that show with Hans Kim, we talk about how he gets hand jobs. I guess he gets a lot of hand jobs. I don't know where he gets them from. I'm going to assume he pays someone to give him the hand job. They usually don't know what a hand job is. It's you can give one to yourself or someone can give you one. It's usually done to a man, but I guess you give a woman a hand job, but it's not usually called a hand job. But it's where you stroke the penis until it ejaculates. I mean, ideally. Anyway, that's a hand job. It's a sexual act. Because you don't think that needed explanation? Anyway.
No, I'm
Ideally.
glad.
So one of the listeners calls me or texts me or emails me. I guess doesn't call me, emails me, texts me, DMs me, however they contact me, DMs me. A listener, random listener DMs me and says, hey, dude, you're never going to believe this. I haven't received a hand job in 5 years. And I listened to that show. And I listened to that show. And that night I got a hand job for the first time in like 5 years from his wife. And I was just like, holy shit. That show manifested him a hand job. You see what I'm doing? Like, it was just like this crazy, just synchronicity of manifestations. One guy manifested Scottish heroin users. Another guy manifested working for Joe Rogan, and then another guy manifested his first hand job in 5 years. It is weird. I know you guys don't want to acknowledge it. You're like, Sevan's gone off the deep end. I have not. It is weird that he listened to a show and his wife gave him about hand jobs, and his wife gave him his first hand job in 5 years. Unless he took her hand and drove it over to his cock and was like, stroke it. I don't think that's what he did. I should have asked.
It's like, I heard this podcast talking about hand jobs.
Yes. I don't know what this has to do with Cara Saunders, but
I mean, are we all manifesting our own realities right now?
Yeah.
You know, you have those people that are like the butt yeah gang. So like you try to tell them, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this and we're gonna have the biggest podcast. Like, yeah, but you know, have you thought about this or maybe this? And then they're the ones that always seem to have like the worst luck and nothing ever goes right. And I can't catch a break. You know, they just got really lucky.
Yes.
Right. And so you're like, maybe you're just kind of putting that out into the universe there. So that's becoming a reality.
Yes.
I mean, what doesn't exist in our world that hasn't first existed in our minds?
Hey, when he says that, Caleb, the yeah butt gang, does like someone in your life immediately pop up?
The what?
In your Sousa was describing a person who's a yeah butt person. Like it's a person where you're like, you know, I think I'm going to enter the Air Force, and they're like, yeah, but, and they're like, yeah, now that I'm in the Air Force, and you're just like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those?
It's almost. I don't think anybody I work with listens to this podcast, but it's basically just about everybody that I work with.
Oh, damn.
They're so just like stuck in like whatever their rhythm is, you know. They never want to step out of what's comfortable to them. And like you'd say like, oh, well, what if I want to go do this other job somewhere else? They're like, well, yeah, but did you think about all of the repercussions that come along with that? And you're like, yes, I did. I did think of all those. And that's why I just stopped asking them their opinion on a lot of stuff. I just don't listen to that. I mean, my personal life stays my personal life now. There's no use in asking them any questions.
Yeah, but
now
you work with them, Caleb. You work with them. You should give them a second chance.
Gotta be nice.
Hey, I don't have any of those fuckers in my life anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
They're such a waste of time.
Yeah, you just weed them out.
I got my sister and my mom and my wife, and they all fucking believe in me like a mofo. Yeah. And like, and they'll talk shit to me, but they just believe in me. Like my mom will be like, "Congrats on the website. Your picture sucks. She'll make me a shit sandwich. I'm happy for you. Will did a good job." Or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But they're also the people you go to like if there's negative feedback about something, you know, like you can trust them. You can trust them with all the positive things. But if you bring up something and be like, "Hey man, no, actually, this is not a good idea," they're like they're the people that are your sounding board.
Right.
Yeah.
As much like it is, yes, they do believe in you all the time, but like say, hey, I wanted to go fucking jump off a cliff somewhere, and they're like, risk reward here, let's not do that.
I don't think my mom was always like that. I think she had to like consciously change. I think that you have to do that as a parent. Yeah, because there became a point in my life where I just didn't want to hear my parents shit anymore. And so like I know like when I planted the 100 fruit trees in my yard and my mom's like taking me, going to the nursery with me and, you know, buying some trees for me or helping me plant them or whatever. She just has to bite the inside of her cheeks. Like she says once, like, are you sure that's not too many? And then she has to like, or else I'll just be like, be done with her and like not want to play with her in the garden anymore. And then I think like, right? I mean, or else you push those people out of your life. And now my mom never does that shit to me. She figured me out. She cracked the code. I'm a baby.
I mean, I was almost that maybe it's like a comfort thing. Like, oh, you just have people around you just say yes to you all the time. But
No, they still say
I
no
don't
to
think
you.
it-
Like, I want a new dog. I want a Great Dane so bad, and my wife's like, no.
Yeah, but
Right.
there's a difference between somebody just being like negative and then somebody that's like, so one of the things we do in the coaches meeting, we have a coaches meeting every week with the staff, and even if we all will agree on maybe a new service we're going to provide or something like that, we'll say, okay, why shouldn't we do this?
Mhm.
And we all have to have discourse on why it shouldn't work, even if we agree, because number one, we just want to make sure that we're just not all sitting there nodding our heads, okay, sure, Matt, that's another great idea you had. I want to understand it better, what could go wrong. So by being able to have people that'll not be the yeah, but crew, but will also just have the discussion, plays devil advocate, just helps you draw clarity sometimes on your idea. Like Sevan, you and I do that all the time in conversations about different stuff we'll do. And sometimes I'll like agree or think it's a good idea, but I'll just start throwing other things out there.
Oh,
like,
you stop. Yeah, I would say you stop half my ideas.
Like
Like, I was like, oh, we got to get on and talk. I want to fucking smash this Joe Rogan shit. Matt's like, let's give that a little bit of a oh, I'm so glad you said that.
But it's different things
Oh.
like that categorizes it a different way, right? It's just trying to allow you to more draw more clarity on your thoughts. Not me being like, yeah, but
Yeah, the good idea fairy can kill a lot of things. Like, that's the thing in the military is like the good idea fairy, because they're like, oh, let's just do all this fucking crazy shit, and you're like, keep it simple, stupid, man. There's no need to go crazy.
Yeah, Dave used to say that at CrossFit.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it not stupid, but he would just say, dude, you're complicating this. He would say, you're complicating this idea. You're fucking it up. I'd be, oh, yeah.
9 times out of 10, there's already been a plan in place, like well before you even showed up. So there's no reason to try to like create this wondrous idea, because in all reality, as soon as you get into it, it's not going to be what you planned it out to be.
Right.
So it really doesn't matter.
And sometimes those people are doing it just because they think that adds some sort of value. So that's one of the things, like when we get some new people in or to the gym, they're like, they want to come with all these great ideas. And it's not because they're just trying to complicate stuff, but it's mostly just because they're like, oh, I want to add some sort of value here. And you have to be like, hey, hold on, just slow down, observe twice before you speak.
And it's almost more beneficial to just sit back and just kind of like you said, observe everything from like a 10-foot radius basically, and just see what everybody else is doing before you even say like, oh, let's maybe add your 2 cents here and there.
And that's why I hope too, like one of the things with art helped me a lot. Like I've leaked this out in some of the other stuff, but back in the day, I used to be an artist in the aerosol arts medium here in the Bay Area.
Aerosol arts medium, fascinating.
And
did you wear an N95?
No, I wore a full-on respirator.
Oh, that's dope. Good on you.
But that was maybe for security cam purposes. So anyhow, when you would be painting anything or drawing something, you would sometimes people would focus in on these details, right? And it would always be like, no, you have to first start by pulling all the way out and blocking in all the main shadows, and then you could kind of pull in and do a detail. Then you got to pull out, relook at your drawing, pull back in. So it's a macro micro view. And Gary Vaynerchuk coined it in business as like clouds and dirt. So we come up here and we kind of see this 30,000 foot view, and then we get back and we start working in the trenches. And so that's what I try to just apply to everything, like even the mask thing. So the mask is a micro. So we focus on the mask, but then you have to take a moment, pull yourself all the way out to the 30,000 foot view.
So many doctors cannot do that part. It's
Right.
We used to call it at CrossFit scope and focus.
Scope and focus. Perfect.
And so many and that's the problem. People are like, yeah, mask saves lives. So you're like, oh, great, let's do mask to save lives. And then without taking the 50,000 foot view and be like, at what cost?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, 6 times the CO2. Oh shit, 500 million masks in the ocean. Oh shit, killing old people. Oh shit, they don't work.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, what is? Will you look up this emergency act thing? My wife, a week before the Joe Rogan clip came out, I told on one of the shows, I said, I will never say the N word, meaning like I will never say N word. Like if I'm gonna say nigger, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna say N word. It's loserville. It's cowardice. Do not bring up the subject unless you can say the word. Because when you say N word, you're asking people to be offended by the real word. And there's never a reason to ask anyone to be offended. Basically, then you are the curator and the origin of all racism and systemic racism. It doesn't mean you should say the word freely. But you should be mindful of how the mechanism of the mind works. Anyway, that being said, my wife said, please don't say that word. I said, why? She said, because someone's going to take all the times you've ever said that word and make them into a clip. And a week later, look what they did to Joe Rogan. But God, I wish someone would do that to me. Like, wait, I wish I was big enough for someone to do that to me.
Just cut me out of it.
Yeah, right. You pussy. No, I don't blame you. What is this emergency act? Is this Canadian? For all is for national emergency. For the purpose of this act, the national emergency is an urgent and critical situation of a temporary nature that A, seriously endangers the lives and health or safety of Canadians and is of such proportions or nature as to exceed the capacity or authority of a province to deal with it.
I think this is just the definition of a national emergency. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So basically, I think what's going on here is this. It sounds like Craig White was over at the
Oh, here we go.
Oh man. Oh,
Prohibition of travel, removal of personal property from any specified area.
Damn.
Requisition, use, or disposition of property. Authorization of or direction to any person or any person of a class of persons to render essential services to a type of that person.
Or any person of a class of persons, like all Asian people have to go to the internment camp, like that kind of shit.
All truckers.
This is crazy.
Regulation of the distribution and availability of essential goods, services, and resources.
Holy shit.
By the way, just so let me give you an example. What that is, people, that's the government can just go into Costco and take all the food out.
Right.
Emergency payments. That's what they did in Cyprus. Look at F right there. That's what caused Bitcoin to explode. If you want to read an amazing book, read Ben Mesrick's Bitcoin Billionaire. And what happened is the country of Cyprus took money from anyone who had over 100,000 euros in their bank account there. And that was like 1/3 of like the Russian mob or something. But there were a lot of other people that had more than 100,000 euros in their bank accounts there, and they fucking took it. It's a fascinating story. And that caused Bitcoin to explode because at that point they knew that governments from around the world could take money from anyone. That small country, Cyprus, did that. The authorization and making of emergency payments. That means take money out of your bank account.
Yep. Or freeze it.
By the way, I had money taken. I had $15,000 taken out of my bank account once by the U.S. government for not paying taxes, but I had paid them. And with no warning, it was gone.
They just garnished it out of your account.
Yeah, I got it back, but it took a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucked. It was probably like my life savings at the time.
If that happens in Canada, if this emergency act passes in Canada, that's it. It's 100% authoritarian.
Wow, look at this. Friends of mine that gave money have lost 60 points on their credit score. It's real. Yeah, I know it's real.
Yeah,
I know. People to this day, Craig, are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you really shadow banned. I didn't know that was real." What? Hey, I probably have a video clip of it. I saw something today that was so sad. Here we go.
Smokes, that thing is loud.
Sorry, guys. Hey, what's up,
guys?
dude?
Craig calling in.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
A lot of this stuff's so tired. Long weekend, guys.
Are you in Ottawa?
Weekend. No, I'm in Vancouver. We've been protesting on the other side of the country.
Good.
We're on both sides, man. We're all trying to do our thing.
I'm an American. When I hear protest, I just think of Black Lives Matter. You guys burnt the city down? You burnt Vancouver down to the ground?
No, man. We had a block party, bro. We're just all getting together. It's nice to see some like-minded people. But, I mean, if you guys haven't seen any of the content coming out of Ottawa,
we have.
It's just brutal. It's a friggin' war zone down there, and these people they're innocent, man. They're peaceful people trying to fight for their freedom.
Yep.
And Friday, Trudeau not Friday. So I think it was Monday last week. So it's 7 days. Monday tomorrow will be when the Emergency Act will actually be voted upon. But this weekend, I mean, if you guys have seen any of the stuff coming down there, man, they brought in the military. Like they ran over some poor lady with horses. And
did she die? I saw a report that she died.
She didn't die. She's alive. She dislocated her shoulder.
I saw that. That was crazy. She's just standing there and they just trampled her. It was nuts.
That's crazy.
And I'm all for police. I'm all for police using fucking crazy force. Like if you're doing bad shit, like fuck you. But like I haven't seen anyone doing any bad shit.
No, and I mean, I understand, they've been there a long time and probably longer than anybody really in Ottawa wanted, but they're just trying to get a point across, man. And I mean, we're losing freedoms. And I'll tell you, like, since Friday, they opened up the can of Ottawa wolf ass and basically put through the Emergency Act without even having it voted upon. And these guys, like, I know people personally that have, like I said, lost points on their credit systems. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's unbelievable.
It is nuts.
Those horses were completely pointless. They were useless. They served no purpose. The police were pushing back the crowd. The crowd is not fighting back. They're just literally walking back.
I can't believe
I don't get it.
I can't believe this is Canada.
I can't believe this is
Hey,
happening.
is
over
our
something
government
that's
speaking to
urban.
your government at all? Do the presidents talk? Is anyone talking? Has anyone talked to? Oh, did you see Klaus Schwab's comment about Trudeau that came out?
Oh yeah, of course. The recent one or the one about
how they've penetrated the World Economic Forum has said that they've penetrated your cabinet and they named Trudeau by name.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've heard that. Yep.
I just can't even believe that's. I can't believe anyone in Canada thinks that that's okay. I mean, I guess I can. We have our share of knuckleheads here. Yeah, this is nuts. Listen to this.
Yeah.
They all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
That's true in Argentina as well.
They don't even hide it.
Why would they need to?
They don't even hide it.
Hey, isn't that Klaus guy a Nazi sympathizer too?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea about that, but
I mean,
what's going on here, guys? Like these poor truckers were taken out of their trucks, ripped out of their trucks. They smashed all the windows. All their shit's being repoed and sold off. Like they're literally selling these guys trucks now, man. Like
they're selling them. Is that what you said? They've taken them and they're selling them.
They've taken them and they're selling them. And the Ottawa mayor came out this morning and said they'll have them gone by the end of the week.
Who's the mayor?
I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember his name now.
It's not the Doug Ford guy, is it? Who's that?
No, he would be the premier of Ottawa.
That's the guy who's like he was
Ontario. Sorry.
Was he the head of Toronto? Was he Toronto's mayor and he was all coked up and went to rehab and all that?
That was his brother.
Okay.
That was his brother. So, anyways, I don't want to put a somber mood on things, guys. And honestly, I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
All right, well, cool. Well, thanks for checking in. We'll
appreciate the show. And
what are you going to do, though? What are you going to do? Are you going to pull all your money out of your bank account, or is any part of you like, okay, time to?
We already have been.
Yeah,
we already have been. I mean, we have to be prepared. It's not going to get any better. They're already talking about a federal backs pass. So if that comes into play behind the Emergency Act, we're in big trouble.
51st state, Canada. All right. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Yes. Also discovered in Argentina revealed the names of 12,000 Nazis who lived there from 1930. And many had Swiss bank accounts, I should say. Interesting. I'm not going to get into it here because the last thing I need is to be on Reddit again as a conspiracy theorist. But
do you have one of those? Do you have a thread?
Yeah, somebody sent me one. That was when I was telling you that I was the
don't go to Reddit ever.
The other guy.
Don't ever go to Reddit.
I didn't. I read a little bit and then just
it's dangerous over there.
Left. It's kind of cool. It was a good moment, you know. Somebody's talking about me on Reddit, not by name, by association.
Ah, great. Oh man, my notes are all fucked up. Oh, it's because I'm looking at the wrong ones. Darn it.
You know, one thing too that I think keeps us kind of locked in this is when people jump back and forth between like Republican or Democrat or like liberal or conservative, and they're like, we need Trump back and we need this. And I'm like, dude, no, like nothing is going to come from within that system that is going to change anything at all. Like if you think we're voting somebody Republican in this thing like Trump in 2024 is going to change these outcomes or the system that we're already currently living in, it's just, that's not going to happen either. You might be less informed, like there might be less forms of it, or he might be a little bit different than the other guy, but it's all still within the same system.
Is this true, Caleb, that the GoFundMe donations were returned? Hey, but then what is the solution? The Constitution's fantastic.
Yeah,
the system, the way this country is set up is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not denying the free markets and the capitalism, but you just have to realize that from what the Constitution was and the liberties that were given in that to what we have now are dramatically different. And until you kind of break apart the system of government, corporation, and media, it's going to be hard to really affect any actual change for the people. And I know we've discussed this before about like, you know, there's nothing wrong with billionaires. No, there's not. But then at some certain degree with the big four, meaning the tech companies, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Google, you have to realize that things have changed. Meaning we have the internet now. There's different levels of communication all at different times. So there needs to be upgrades in the way that the systems are run. And I just think that everybody's in too colluded with each other to really have anything break out from that. Like bringing Trump in is just going to be maybe a lesser form of it.
And he's taking a lot of money from pharma too, I think.
They all have. I mean, they all have. So it's going to have to change from a different way. I don't have the answers to it, but I just think if we got back to the Constitution and got back to focusing on liberties, things might change. And when people really understood about government and the role what government should be, we have that guy, Jay, what was his last name?
Nara.
Yeah, he put it fantastic. Basically like, hey, uphold the law so people could have personal property and we could have businesses and contracts with each other so nobody imposes like their force or will upon us just by coming over and saying, I'm taking your computer and going to boot you up, right?
You know, it's kind of what's happening at CrossFit, right? Like the affiliates just want you to uphold the name and chill out.
Yep.
And instead they're trying to monetize it. And that's what we want from our government. But instead the government's like trying to rule our lives.
And who are the mouthpiece? All the medias saying, it's all right, guys. This is actually good for the community. This was a plan that was accelerated. And it's like, but nobody could point of anything of value that has actually happened.
I wonder if any of those guys end up killing themselves.
What do you mean?
Like the guys in the media, like you just feel like such a piece of shit for what you've done that you just commit suicide.
I think
you've done so much damage.
I think they firmly believe that they're like doing it for good. You know what I mean?
Oh man, they that's how they justify all their lying.
I mean, that's how we justify
like the flip-flopping, like that lady we just saw, talking just now.
Man, that's how we justify all these policies. Everything's always good for with intent for the other person, right? Like you wear a mask, not for yourself, but for your neighbor. You know, get your vaccine, not for you, but for grandma. Like it's all based off of like this moral high ground that that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to break into this topic.
Yeah, I didn't have any.
No, your topic's good. I was gonna say a new topic. No, your topic's good. Your topic's good. I was gonna switch the topic. Your topic's good. I was looking at hand jobs. Hans Kim is autistic. I'm just erasing things that I've already been through.
There's been something on that one that has been on there for like the first notes from a while back. I wish we had it on a live doc so I could highlight it and you could see it. But
is it the one about Brian?
Oh
no, I did the Brian, right? Brian friend hasn't honked his horn in 5 times. Have I done that one?
Maybe I just forgot.
I think I've done this, but it's a note that's on here. I'm gonna erase it, take it off forever. I just remember Brian saying to me, it was either on the phone or on one of the shows, that he's only honked his horn 5 times in his life. I honk my horn like on the reg. Like I see people I know, I honk. Like there's this coffee shop in town. Like even though the mask mandate's lifted, I probably shouldn't say this, but they still require it. And so every time I go by there, like at 6 a.m, there's people like sipping their coffee out front on the patio. I just fucking lay on the horn. Wah! Good morning.
Okay, I thought there was gonna be some sort of funny thing behind that. I didn't realize it was just him saying he's only used
I
it.
think
5
that's the
times.
Midwest. That's the Midwest nice in him.
Say that again.
That's the Midwest nice in him.
Yeah, me. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Maybe they don't have a lot of traffic or a lot of things
Oh,
there either.
no traffic.
Yeah.
There's nobody to honk your horn at. You can
Where-
drive wherever you want. in
Where?
the Midwest.
But Brian's in Chicago. Brian might not even drive. Brian might not even own a car. No, he owns a car. He owns a car. I bet you
probably
he
just
owns
runs
it.
everywhere.
Excuse me. He owns a hoopty. I bet you. I bet you he owns like I bet you he owns a car that looks very similar to yours, Sousa. Sousa has a hoopty.
I was gonna say, would you consider my car a hoopty?
Oh my God, yours is the ultimate hoopty.
So many people have asked me why I don't buy a new car. Even like my mom at one point was like, "Why don't you get something nice?" And I'm like, "Why would I pay for anything? It runs perfect."
It does. Yeah, your car does look like it probably runs perfect.
I mean, it runs great. There's a couple things that probably need to get fixed, but like the windows don't roll down on one side and stuff like that. But that's all good. That just attention to detail. If I just spend a little time, put the window back on the track, it'd probably be all right.
You got to open the passenger side from the inside. So you
It's like,
Probably. His car is like that. His car is like that.
hey, it's still better than the first car I had.
I've ridden in your. Didn't we go to the beach once? That went in your car. Yeah, I
Yeah.
rode in your car. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those cars. I think it's like the passenger seat. You get in it, and it's like the car is like so old that it feels like someone was just when you sit down in it. It feels like someone was sitting there who weighed 3,000 pounds before you. You know what I mean? Like you sit, like you think it's just like, oh shit! Like all the cushion's gone. Like maybe you feel a spring or something like that. I mean, it's tired. It's like a tired 1970s casino. The inside of his car. You know what I mean? The carpets are all worn. It's.
I mean, it's an 07 Civic. It's not.
Yeah, it's a 076. Yeah, that's what I would get. I would guess 04, but whatever. How much are you paying your guys? Which guys? I don't know, guys.
Oh my god!
Fucking guys. I text them. They text Sousa when 3 days ago or 2 days ago and said, "Hey, let's do a show Sunday." And then I text Caleb, I don't know, this afternoon and said, "Do you want to come on? You don't have to." That's how much I pay them. I'd love to see you, but
coffee.
So a friend of mine, I don't know if I said this already, but a friend of mine works at a company where he's in charge of 800 people. He's like the head medic there. And he's in, like, if someone injures themselves on the job, he has to go to it. You know what I mean? Like there's 800 employees and they're contracted out to do work around the Bay Area. And if someone gets injured, my friend goes out there and like writes up the report or shit. Or my friend's asked to, like, if someone gets like calls in sick, he has to manage all that, like the health of the health of the employees. And one of the things that they are doing now is that you're not allowed to wear an N95 mask there. Oh, I think I talked about this already. Oh yeah, I did talk about this. Pulmonary function test. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So the mask inhibits your breathing by so much that you have to take a test before you put the mask on. Hey, I don't want to wear a mask like that ever. But I don't mind if my kids do.
It's for their safety.
All right.
Public
we
health.
made it. Tomorrow morning we have Brian Battle on, UFC fighter. He won the Ultimate Fighter. They call it tough, 185 pounds. I wanted him on the show for like 6 months. He just had a fight this past weekend or the weekend before, and he won. That's going to be a great show. Then on Tuesday we don't have anyone on Tuesday yet. That's right. You left it open. On the 23rd, we have Jim Hensel. I believe Jim Hensel is in charge of Mayhem's mindset.
Yep.
Mayhem mindset. That's going to be fascinating. We can ask him what kind of mindset we need in order for this podcast to go to the next level. Then this is awesome that you changed these. Thank you, Sousa. Then on Thursday, we have Leah Shutkever. If you don't know who that is, you should follow her. Leah Shutkever. She has 24 world records. She has an insane physique, and she also is a professional eater, which is just nuts. The 25th, we have Neil Maddox, which is Friday. I have to pee. I can't do anymore. But we got a whole this girl. We got a whole ton of guests on. Thank you very much. Love having you guys. Sorry to end the show so abruptly, but my bladder's gonna pop.